Okay, I think that's live. So hi everyone, thank you for joining the live Q&A session today. Hope you're all well. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. If you want to start adding any questions into the comment section, we can get started in a couple of minutes. I'll see if I can get a few more people from Twist across. Welcome to the live support Q&A. If you're just joining us, feel free to pop any comments or questions into the comment section. Happy to go over any topics or anything that anyone wants clarifying, or anything in the dashboard that people want a bit of help with. So yeah, just pop in anything you might want to know about in the comments. So I'm just going to pop some posts in Thread, see if we can remind anyone else who's wanting to come. Oh, hi, Reed Bellu. Happy Friday, indeed. Hope you're well. If you've got any questions, let me know, and we can get started soon. But yeah, happy Friday, indeed. I hope it's sunny where you are. It's actually pretty miserable here today. So welcome. Looks like a few more people have just joined the live stream. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. If you've got any questions or anything that you want me to go over to help you improve traffic or revenue, any concerns that you might have about us going into the new quarter, I'm happy to kind of run through any kind of information regarding that. Just pop anything you might have in the comments. Oh, hi, Nakari. So our first question, thanks for joining. How many visits are expected to earn $1? So it's quite difficult to say, to be honest. There's loads of different factors which contribute into revenue, and the kind of also your EPMV and everything. So loads of different things contribute into how much revenue you earn from a certain amount of visits. So it completely depends on whether that traffic's coming from mobile, if it's social media traffic, and also like the location of the traffic as well. So all these different things can impact EPMV and therefore like revenue. So it's quite hard to say exactly kind of like how many visits for $1 because it completely depends on the kind of traffic you are getting, because certain traffic is kind of like low paying, such as like social media, whereas we consider like more like organic Google traffic to be more like high paying for like revenue. So it completely depends, to be honest, where you what your traffic source is, and all those types of things. But Nokari, if you're happy to like send your site in the comment section, we could have a quick look into your like setup and like take a bit of like a dive into what your traffic source is like. If you're kind of happy to share that. Okay, hi, Kutad. Do not set up ad.txt file. What do you mean by that? Do you mean you have not set it up, or how to set it up? You have to set up your ads.txt file for the whole kind of like monetization process, and also to get ad manager approval. So if you need a hand kind of getting that set up, I'm happy to have a look into your dashboard and everything. But yeah, you do have to set up an ads.txt file. I don't know, that might not have been what you meant. So yeah, if you need a hand with anything ads.txt related, just let me know exactly what you're struggling with. Hi, Sam Adri, thanks for joining. Can I apply .xyz domains for Ezoic? Yeah, of course you can. You can apply any kind of domain like that. That's absolutely fine. So could I just, for the ads.txt question, I'm just gonna pop a knowledge base in the comment section, which just goes over kind of everything that you need to know about setting up ads.txt and like why it's important. So if you want to like kind of give me a bit more information on what you're struggling with ads.txt wise, I can have a bit of a better look, but this is just more of like a generic how to get set up and why it's important. We recommend using Ads.txt Manager. It's just a much easier and quicker way to get it set up. But yeah, you can have a look at that. But yeah, let me know if that's not what you meant. So if anyone's got any more questions, just let me know. It could be something like Leap related, or your placeholder setup, anything that you're struggling to understand in like the dashboard, or kind of going into the new quarter, if anyone's got any kind of concerns. Hi, Rude. Yeah, of course. Happy to have a look at your setup. We can, if you input your domain, even in the comment section, or you can send it over Facebook if you prefer, and I can have a look at your setup. And if there's anything that I think could be improved, then that hopefully will be helpful to other people on the live stream as well. So yeah, please do input it, and we can have a bit of a deeper look into your setup. So Simadre's asked, Nginx server is compatible with Ezoic ads. So this is something that I've actually been like looking into a bit recently. So as far as we're aware, like yes, the kind of like web server is compatible. However, there is sometimes a caching element kind of set up with it that can cause issues. So if you are kind of seeing an issue with your sites, either like caching or maybe ads aren't showing or just something, and you are using Nginx, then I would definitely reach out to either your host, or if you've kind of installed it yourself, and just make sure that that caching element hasn't automatically just been set up for it. And if you can get that disabled. We had a publisher last week or so who was struggling with ads not showing on the site, or something related to that, and they didn't even realize that they had Nginx set up for their domain, and it was something that just came kind of hand in hand when they set up their hosting, so the hoster kind of enabled it. So yeah, if you have set that up through your host, you can reach out to your host and ask them to kind of make the changes on their end. So yeah, all kind of external caching will cause issues. So yeah, and Nginx definitely does have some kind of caching enabled. So yeah, just double check that, Simaje. Hi Tanvi, thanks for joining. If you've got any questions, Tanvi, just pop them in the comments. And Ramil, hi Imogen, why do I need to finish the course before I can integrate my site to Ezoic? So Ramil, that sounds like you might possibly be on an old version of the course. So we have recently completely changed and overhauled our kind of courses. I mean, we listened to a lot of our publishers' feedback on how they were finding the old version of the course, and kind of went back to the drawing board and put our heads together and kind of created something that we thought would be far more accessible to publishers and enable them to get set up a lot quicker. So Ramil, you definitely should, like, integration on the new course is the second step, and then there's only like 4 or 5 steps after that to kind of get you fully set up in the end. So Ramil, can you send me your domain please, or your email address? Can you just put either your Ezoic email or your domain in the comments, and I'll just make sure that you're on the updated version of the course. Because yeah, you should be able to get set up in 15 minutes, and integration is the first step of that course. So yeah, just send me your domain please, and I'll just make sure. Okay, thanks, Rude. Let's have a look. Is that just discoversolarpower.com? Yeah, gotcha. Okay, let's have a quick look. So you were curious just about like the setup, and if you've got any tips. Okay. So, well, firstly, so if anyone's curious as to like how they can improve their setup further, I would just recommend following these kinds of steps. So I've just gone into the site, so discoversolarpower.com, and into the monetization section. And the first thing to always check is Ad Tester. So do you have your AI placeholders enabled and enhanced? So in general settings, I can see that Ruud's got everything enabled, which is great. And he's even got our beta ad formats enabled. So what this new kind of thing does is it will allow you to opt in for your website to automatically test any new ad formats as they become available. So one of the great things about Ezoic is we move really, really fast, and our kind of like developers and our tech team are continuously working to kind of improve how we can optimize sites better. So there will always be something kind of new in the works. So I would definitely recommend opting in for that beta ad formats thing that Ruud, I can see you've got enabled, which is great, and loads of different ad types. So that looks good. You're also using the Chrome extension and the WordPress plugin, which is great. A combination of both these tools to generate placeholders is what we recommend. WordPress plugin originally, so automatically generate placeholders for the site, and then just going back in with the Chrome extension to make sure that everything's like aligned well, and 10 to 15 placeholders minimum per page. I know some people get a bit concerned about that sometimes, thinking, I don't want too many ads on, but placeholders are what they say. They are a placeholder. They are not going to guarantee that an ad is shown there. It's just giving the AI like more combinations of the ads to work with. So yeah, you've got your native ads enabled. I'm just going to go in and double check that you've actually got them on the site as a placeholder as well, Ruud, just because we do see a lot of publishers enable native ads in the dashboard, but then they don't actually input it on the page as using the Chrome extension. So let me just double check. And my Chrome extension is not working. Oh yeah, it is. I'm just not being patient. Okay, let's have a look. So just gone into your page. So Ruud, I'm seeing all your placeholders, but I'm not actually seeing the native ad placeholder on your page. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. But it doesn't look like that's actually been added. So what I'm going to do is, because Rud, you have native ads turned on in your dashboard, what you have to do is you then have to go back in, so pick a page on the site, activate the Chrome extension, go on create, and then scroll down until you see native horizontal, and I'm going to select location, and then bottom of the page usually works well for a native ad, I think. So I'm just going to put one at the bottom of this page here, and then insert here and native bottom of the page and save placeholder. So you'll have a native ad placeholder on the site now. So yeah, if anyone else wants to double check whether their native ads are working, make sure that if you've got them enabled in the dashboard, you're going into the page and inserting that placeholder using the Chrome extension like I've just done there. And there it is. So that's good. And then the rest of your setup wise looks great in the monetization sections. Yeah, no, that looks really great. And then the only other thing that I would encourage everyone to do is obviously make the most of having, if you are using Leap. So I wrote that your scores on Leap look great. So 82 on mobile and 75 on desktop. So that looks fantastic. The only thing that's pulling you down is your LCP. So what I would encourage you to do is go into Leap, go into that LCP element on the overview, and where it's obviously like the amber, so not green, and click into that, and then your largest contentable paint section will come up in Core Vitals. And if you scroll down, you will see a list of URLs that are being pulled for your like worst pages for the LCP, and you can then test these pages in the Ezoic lab, and you'll be able to see a bunch of recommendations of either like any script or something that you can make changes to, just to help bring that score up. But overall, your setup looks great. So improvement wise, we've just sorted out that native ad placeholder, and you could also improve the LCP element within your Leap scores. But yeah, overall, like traffic looks great. APMV looking really good as well. So yeah, I think that looks like a really good setup. So a great example. Okay, let's have a quick, I'll go back up in case I've missed anything. So Ramil, you sent me your, sorry, I've been forgetting to click on these so they show on the screen. So let me just get this dashboard up and I'll see which one you're on. So it's hint on. Hint. Okay, I'll just see what course you're on first. Okay, yeah, so really sorry about that, Emil. It looks like you are still on the old version of the course. If anyone who's on the live stream right now has recently joined Ezoic, or maybe you signed up, to be honest, it's probably more if you signed up a while ago and you've only just come back to the platform. If you are then having to complete courses that say basic certification course, please reach out to us over Twist, or if you're on the call now, let me know, and we can remove that for you, because that does mean you are on an old version of the course. We did obviously try and transfer everyone across, but it was like thousands of worths of publishers, so I think some people unfortunately might have just ended up on the old course again. So just let us know if that's not the case, and we'll be able to unlock it for you. So Ramil, I've just unlocked that in your dashboard, so you should be able to just go straight into your dashboard now, integrate the site, and then be able to kind of access the rest of the setup steps. We don't have a test requirement anymore for setting up monetization. We have taken that away after kind of hearing people's feedback and things. So yeah, Ramil, if you just check on your dashboard and just make sure that you can access everything now, but let me know if not. So, Marjorie, I think I had an issue with the Nginx cache, so I removed all external cache plugins, but header is still showing in bigger size sometimes. What I need to do. Do you want to send your site in here, Marjorie, and I can have a quick look for you? I think so. The Nginx cache is within the actual plugin, so you could have removed all your external cache plugins like Jetpack and etc., which are popular ones, but you don't actually have to disable all of the Nginx plugin. You can just disable the caching element. So if you wanted to like send your site over, I could have a quick look about the header and just see if I can figure out what you mean by that. So yeah, thanks, Jamil. You just have a quick look and let me know if that's worked. It should do. If it's still showing the old one, just try clear your cache out first. But yeah, that should have updated for you now. And yeah, sorry about that. So Mattia Raman, thanks for joining. My ad manager account status approved, but domain status has been disapproved by Google. And then the second part, Google found hacking content on my site, but I did not find any hacking and download content on my website. Okay, so I mean, it could have been an error on their behalf, but do you want to send me the site and I can have a look for you and see? Because I know sometimes the hacking content disapproval message is quite broad, and it can mean that it's not directly associated with hacking content, but something similar. Like I don't know, but you can send me your site and I'll have a look for you. So yeah, Mattia, if you want to pop that in the comments, your site or your email address, I'll have a look at your site and see if I can figure out why it's been denied for that reason. Or if not, we can just clear your cache and try again. I think sometimes it is just worth reapplying the site, and you might get someone else reviewing it who it might just be a system error. I mean, they do happen, but yeah, if you send your site over, I'll have a look. So welcome to anyone who's just joining. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments. Any topics that you want me to go over, anything you're a bit unsure about, happy to help with anything. I'll make sure I've not missed anything. Or if anyone's on the call who wants me to just have a look at their setup, like I did for Rudd, just send your domain in and I can make sure that you kind of got all the best optimizations like set up for their site. There might be something that you've overlooked that I might be able to pick up on. So yeah, happy to look into anyone's setups. Whilst we're kind of waiting for a few more questions to come in. I mean, whilst we're just waiting for a few more questions, I think probably a good time to just discuss the fact that we have just started the new quarter today. So 1st of July, and that is the start of the second quarter of the year, Q2. One sec. A lie, it's Q3. I knew as soon as I said it then, I was like, it's definitely not Q2. So yeah, sorry, we've just started the third quarter of the year, and a few different things that you need to keep in mind going into the new quarter is that we typically do see a drop in global ad rates at the start of a new quarter. It's just a time where advertisers take stock and kind of rethink and replan their spending for the quarter. for the upcoming quarter, sorry. So we see this happen at the start of every quarter. It's nothing to worry about. Hopefully it'll only affect, it might not even affect you, but if it does, it should just only be for a week or so. So nothing to worry about as we start Q3. It happens at the start, and we also can see this if you need a bit of reassurance. We have our ad revenue index, which kind of shows this as well. So as it's the start of Q3 today, I'll just pop this in. So if anyone wants to take a look, that can be a bit of reassurance. Oh, thanks, Bud. Just trying to keep the live alive whilst we wait for a few more comments to come in. But yeah, here we go. So we've got a few more coming in now. Hi Daniel, could you have a look at my setup to manage your awesome pets? Yeah, of course. Is that .com or oh yeah, you've just put it there. Let's have a quick look. Like I say, I think going through someone's site kind of on the live is really useful for other people on the call who maybe don't want to put anything in the comments, who are just kind of observing. It means that they can take any tips away that I'm kind of like, I'll obviously just voice everything that I'm looking at and everything that I'm doing. So yeah, Daniel, let's have a look at yours. Awesomepets.com. Great. So approved, ad manager approved. So yeah, let's have a look into your monetization. Okay, so again, first thing I'm going to look at is into monetization. So similar setup within Ad Tester, which is great. You've got everything switched on, which is fantastic. I mean, I think one of the things that publishers need to keep in mind is we need to be able to give the AI as much as possible to test with. Each visitor to your site will receive a completely different combination of ads and formats than a different visitor. Like that's like, right, so great. So the more that you give the AI to test with, the better. So yeah, fantastic. So yeah, as well, Daniel, you've used the WordPress plugin for your placeholder setup, which I would always recommend doing. So if anyone's not familiar with the WordPress plugin, you can set it up. You obviously have to be on WordPress CMS to be using it, but once you activate it, you can then set up placeholders for the site, and they are automatically generated for you. So as opposed to manually inserting 10 or 15 placeholders into a page using the Chrome extension, the WordPress plugin will just automatically generate these for you. And it's all based on Ezoic's best practices, like the way that how many in content ones we put in sidebar, and then obviously like the ones in the header and the footer. So yeah, great. So AdSense mediation, fabulous. And again, Daniel, I'm just gonna make sure that you've got that native ad placeholder on the page. Because you've also enabled it in the dashboard, but we do see it a lot where they've not actually been manually inputted into the page with the Chrome extension. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. So it doesn't look like you have. I'll just activate the Chrome extension. So activating it, I'm going to see if there's any native ad placeholders. So I'm not seeing one, Daniel. So yeah, I'm going to input one for you too. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the page. I do think native ads work best at the bottom of content, as they just look like a natural end to the article, as opposed to anything that's kind of like in content. So I always put them at the bottom, but it's completely up to you. You don't have to. So yeah, I'm going to put it not there. So here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, so inputting that with the Chrome extension, bottom of the page. So yeah, you've now also got a native ad placeholder, and that will transfer onto all similar pages. So you only need to put it on one of your pages. So yeah, Daniel, I've put that in for you because you had it enabled in the dashboard. Oh, it looks like yours is at the bottom. Perfect, right. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, that's your native ad placeholder put on the page. And then if we just keep going, let's have a look. So Daniel, one thing I will say is you do have the max ads per page enabled in your dashboard. I would recommend that I won't do this for you because it is obviously up to you, but I would recommend that you do turn this off, because the rule obviously prevents you being able to show more ads, which will impact revenue, but it also limits the amount of testing that the AI can do, which will obviously also indirectly affect revenue. So if there's any reason that you've kind of got that enabled, let me know, but I would recommend that you do turn max ads per page off. If you're worried about there being too many placeholders or ads, too many ads on the page, remember, as I've already said, that the amount of placeholders you are seeing is not going to be the amount of ads that are shown. And if you are kind of visiting the site yourself, we do also say publishers, as we do at Ezoic, will always interact with the content on the page in a very different way to a real user. So therefore the AI can often determine that you are more ad tolerant and show more ads. So that is why a lot of publishers can see more ads on the page as opposed to a typical user, just due to the way that you do interact with your content. So I would probably recommend, if you are happy to, Daniel, turning that max ads per page off. So yeah, I'll have just another look down. Let's have a look. And then leap-wise, so it looks like we're still waiting on a bit more data to kind of give you some more accurate leap scores, Daniel, but 93 on desktop, that is really great. So looking really good there. I think the only other thing that I wanted to point out was from looking at the homepage. So you've currently got your cache hit rate sitting at about 49.8, which isn't like awful, but it could definitely be improved. Caching is really important with really important for obviously like speed. So yeah, I would definitely look at trying to improve that cache hit rate, and some tips for doing so. So make sure you do not have any kind of external caching plugins enabled. So nothing that will conflict with Ezoic's caching. So typical ones that we do see are W3 Supercache and Jetpack. So make sure you've disabled all caching plugins. Make sure that you don't have anything server-side caching enabled at your host. I'm also going to turn on your override cache control headers. So these override rules usually set by plugin or host can prevent Ezoic and other CDNs from caching your content. So I'm going to turn on override cache control headers, and also include the grace period. Increase. I'm going to increase the grace period as well. So yeah, Daniel, that should help with caching. And obviously when we look at kind of like revenue and performance, like speed and therefore caching is really important for like helping things like your bounce rate and like user experience. So yeah, those 3 things should help. Okay, so Matia Rahman said, I did not find any hacking and download content on my website. Please check my website, realfoodsim.com. You've resubmitted 3 days ago, but it's still under review. Okay, I'll have a look. Real Food Sim. Okay. So nothing's immediately jumping out at me. It's probably usually something in the tech category. How to modify? That should be fine. Okay, so I haven't found found anything like directly referencing the hacking or thingy content. But what I will say that there is quite a few issues with the site. So I've clicked into okay, so it's probably this article, the hill climb racing coins with free download. So I've clicked into that and it's just come up with the nothing found page. So that's obviously like a redirect link that is a broken link, sorry, not a redirect, a broken link on the site. So, and I think the nature of the title of the article offering free download without any kind of indications like what the content is in the article, because it's saying page not found, could quite possibly be causing your site to be denied. But in general, Mate Ramen, there are quite a few broken links on your site. So if I just hovered over tech and went to security and tried to open that link and I got nothing found again. So whilst the site's under review, because I do probably think it will be denied again, here are some tips to kind of help you next time round get approval. Please make sure there are no broken links on the site. Remove anything that references kind of like free downloads. I mean, you've got your content and privacy policy, that's fine. There is quite a few different topics on the site right now, so we do usually recommend going for like one particular niche. So like Daniel's site that I was just on, he has quite a clear theme around like pets, whereas like this one, there are quite a few different categories, so like health, fashion, tech, business, home improvement. And there's also like a blog section as well. So that kind of like multi-niche domain is something that Google usually do deny sites for. Then on the blog drop down, you've also got like travel, video, or news uncategorized. So I think it just needs a bit more time spending on the actual kind of what is the site for? Like, what do I use it for? Do you want it to be like, to be fair, like tech and business, they usually go quite well together, quite hand in hand, as do health and fashion. So I would probably recommend being one or the other rather than all six. So yeah, that's something to think about, because we do see sites getting denied for that particular reason, but it usually comes up under the low value content reason as opposed to hacking content. But yeah, I think it's probably the free download link that's getting you denied, and because the link doesn't work. So remove that, and then if you are denied again, just reach out. Well, no, sorry. If you are denied again, make those changes and reapply. And then if you are denied again, reach out. But I would definitely make those changes that I've said. You're welcome, Daniel. I hope that was helpful. So hi Lucky, thanks for joining. Pages without revenue in Ezoic level keeps on dropping and rising. Is this normal? Are there a way to stabilize it? I can take a look for you. So do you mean within like the actual like levels dashboard? Or because I know there's obviously like the big data analytics report, which generates data for pages without revenue. Yeah, sorry, I'm not too sure what you mean by that. Do you mean within the levels dashboard? And would you be happy to send your site in the comments, Lucky? And then I can have a look at your levels dashboard and just make sure that I'm talking about the right thing. If you can put your site in your comments, that would be helpful. Oh, thanks, Lucky. I think you're just sending that site over. So whilst Lucky's kind of sending their site over, if anyone's got any like other questions or anything, here and for another 20 minutes or so. So happy to look into anyone else's like setup, and also offer any advice or information regarding the dashboard or big data analytics, Leap, anything at all. So I'll just wait for Lucky to send their site over. So Lucky, I think you've sent like half of the message. So if you meant to send your site there, it's not come through yet. If you want to resend it, I've just put on the screen kind of what I've seen. So yeah, can you resend your site, please? And I can have a look. While she's sending it, I'll try and figure out what you mean, because I'm not too sure. So I'll look in the levels bit. Oh, okay. So you mean in the intermediate section, there is like a criteria for pages without revenue. So our system has detected that there is a large percentage of page views that aren't generating revenue. Typically, this is due to placeholders not being present on the page. Oh, okay, so it's flagging that you have pages without revenue. We recommend checking these pages. So Lucky, kind of, what is it that you are struggling with? Is it because are you kind of regularly checking in big data analytics any like new pages that don't have revenue, or is it the same page being flagged that's kind of saying you're putting placeholders on and then blah blah blah, for whatever reason it's being flagged as not generating revenue? Like, I think it would be helpful to know is like, are the same pages being flagged for this, or something like that? Lucky Strange YouTube keeps moving. Can you just type it in without the .com or whatever? So what Daniel and Rue did before, they just typed it in without kind of, so like Ezoic and the .com. Do you know what I mean? So like, can you type it in as two separate things? Then it might come through. Because I think, yeah, YouTube will remove it. So can you try doing that, please? Oh, is it .com? I think I've got it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've got it, Lucky. Thank you. I'll have a quick look now. So in your levels dashboard right now, intermediate. So yeah, I can see, so no revenue, page views, desktop. So you're saying that this keeps fluctuating, showing that you do, then you don't have pages without revenue. So let's have a quick look into big data analytics and see. I mean, Lucky, kind of like what like I was saying earlier, what are the same pages being flagged in big data analytics? Hi, Pratik. Yeah, sorry, I will get to your question in a second. I'm just looking at Lucky's revenue pages, that revenue issue, and then I'll move on to yours. So yeah, I have seen it. Let's just have a quick look. So pages that revenue. So lucky there are quite a few pages being flagged right now for pages without revenue. If these are the same pages that keep getting flagged, then there might be an issue. However, if they are kind of like new pages, I mean, some of them, they do have quite low page views. And I'll have a look into one of them just to make sure that kind of like the placeholders are set up okay. That's strange. So lucky, I've just gone into one of the URLs for the pages without revenue, and I'm seeing like where there should be an ad, just the Ezoic banner with no ad actually showing. And this can happen for a few different reasons. So what I'm gonna do is, are you in Twist? Okay, you've completed Twist. Lucky, what I'll do is I'll look into this with one of my colleagues after the live and just see if we can figure out why the ad's not loading. So it's just showing the Ezoic banner. And I'll reach out to you about it just because there's a few different things that I'd probably need to check that might take a while, and we've only got 10 minutes left. So yeah, Lucky, what I'll do, I'll work through your URLs for the pages without revenue. And I'll try and figure out kind of like why those ads aren't showing on those pages, because obviously that is what's bringing your score down. So yeah, I'll take a look. So Pratik, earnings for June month was $495, means you have $5 remaining to enter into level 5. You can 5% boost by completing top optimizations, but you don't want to use mediation required to complete top optimization. Okay, so that's quite a unique kind of situation in terms of kind of wanting to unlock the next level. So Pratik, can you just send me your site, please, and I can have a quick look into your levels dashboard? But it might be best if you reach out to us kind of like after the live, because anything to do with kind of like levels is we have to reach out to kind of like the specific levels team just to make sure kind of like what kind of things can be put in place to like offer like the boost into like level 5 or whatever. So Pratik, please can you reach out to us after the live and we can have a look at kind of what we could unlock to obviously help you get that level up. But when you say you can 5% boost, I mean, you might just have to wait until you actually just meet the revenue and traffic criteria, as opposed to like getting that boost unlocked through the optimization opportunities. So yeah, you might just have to solely kind of wait until you can naturally level up based on revenue and traffic. Because you don't have to enable mediation to level up if you don't want to, but the criteria you do have to meet is through like revenue and traffic. So rather than unlocking it through a boost, you might just have to wait until you are naturally kind of like ready to level up. Oh, hi Ian, hope you're well. Is there a way to see Google search positions of all pages on my website in Ezoic? Many thanks, Ian. I'm not too sure about that, Ian. What do you mean by Google search positions? I can double check for you. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to double check because I don't want to give you the wrong information. I'm just finding out for you, Ian. And I'll come back to you. So Ian, whilst I just wait to hear from the team just about your question, Daniel's asked, with my caching issue, I am not seeing any plugins that could be conflicting. You have Ezoic, Gutenberg, Rank SEO, plus yeah, that's fine. So Daniel, can you just double check with your host that they don't have anything server side enabled? So Sorry. So yeah, can you just double check with your host, Daniel, just to make sure that you don't have any server-side caching enabled? So just reach out to your host and make sure that they've disabled anything caching related on their end. But yeah, I mean, if you did have something really conflicting with your caching, I think you would know, like it wouldn't just be impacting your cache hit rate. It's just something that we do double check when we do see a cache hit rate sitting below like 50%. But yeah, those changes that we've already made to caching should help. Oh, you're hosted with Ezoic. Okay, that's fine. So keep an eye on your cache hit rate over the next few days. Obviously, I updated those two settings in your caching settings. So these should take effect and be able to kind of help that climb up again. So just keep an eye on it over the next few days, Daniel. And if you don't kind of see it increasing, let us know. But what you can also do, Daniel, so if you go to Big Data Analytics, you can view kind of URLs that are missing our cache, or you can take some of your top landing pages and you can test these URLs in the cache debugger. So if you go to Ezoic, you want speed and then caching and scroll down, we do have like a cache debugger where you can kind of test different URLs, and if they are missing our cache for whatever reason, it will be listed, and then you can kind of implement whatever needs changing. Okay, Ian, coming back to your question, I've had a response. So in terms of seeing Google search positions, you can connect your Google Search Console with Ezoic, but I'm not 100% sure if that shows search positions for every page. So we can show page views based on search query, but not positions for pages. So sorry, I just messaged Harry to try and find out. So I'm giving you the right information. So he said, view search query probably won't make too much sense on a page basis, because your pages will rank in different positions based on what you are searching. So it's the search queries you want to focus on more. So we can show page views based on search query, but not positions. But what Harry's saying is search queries is more important. So Ian, if you've not linked your Google Search Console, I would recommend doing so, and I can find a document which will help you do it. So it's in the SEO section of your dashboard, and then you just have to authorize Google Search Console. Google Search Console, if anyone else is interested, is really useful for like different things as well, such as finding out what kind of keywords are popular on the site. So what kind of keywords are ranking on your site. So if you've got quite a lot of different information on your site, you can link your Google Search Console and use it to kind of identify what keywords your users are coming to the site more. And that is just like so valuable for helping you kind of plan out how to focus like content and things moving forwards. Okay, great. So you've already done that. That's great, Ian. Sorry, I hope that's helped. And I don't think that was the best answer. But yeah, I hope that's helped. I mean, I really do think that publishers should make the most of using our big data analytics as well, for kind of understanding the different behavior of users on the site. I mean, there's some really helpful reports in big data analytics that can help you understand what kind of like how far your users are reading down your page, what kind of length of content your users prefer. You can obviously look at your landing pages, like what kind of content is like ranking highest that are right, and kind of like use that to really like move forward and plan your content. So yeah, big advocate, obviously, because I work at Ezoic, but I do think big data analytics is like a really great tool to help you grow traffic and revenue and really understand your traffic in general. Like I was saying earlier at the start of the stream, different traffic can generate different revenue. So 2 sites can both have 1,000 people visiting their site, and the revenue can be completely different because it's just so dependent on where and how like that traffic is getting to the site and like the source and so many different things that come into it. So I do think publishers should definitely be using big data analytics to like really understand all like the nitty-gritty bits of the site and the traffic coming in. So yeah. So Mattia, my site 3 months ago, New World Media and Monumetric Ad Network Google Ad Manager domain approved. Okay. What do you mean by that? Sorry, have they been approved? Are you saying? Could you just clarify what you mean by that, please? So Pratik, is it possible to connect Fresh Domain with Ezoic hosting? Yeah, of course. So when you sign up a new domain to your account, in order to kind of be eligible for Ezoic's WordPress hosting, the site will have to be approved. So yeah, you just have to get approval on the domain first, and then you are more than welcome to access our WordPress hosting. And I'll just find you a knowledge base for hosting in case you do decide. It's got a good tutorial in it. Here you go. So it's got instructions and a tutorial for how to kind of transfer onto our WordPress hosting. And that's posted. So yeah, if you do decide to move over, those are the instructions there. So hi Kazel. Hi, how can I see more details about analytics from today? I don't have an analytics form. I think I have analytics from 10 delay hours and I post 3 times per day and I want to see what is my best time. Okay, I see what you mean. So you want to be able to see what time's the best to post. I mean, we don't yet have that kind of like data available in big data analytics, but I mean, I suppose what you could do is depending on where you are based in the world, you can use big data analytics to see if you go to audience and then location, you can be able to pull up information about where in the world your users are joining you from, are viewing the site from. Oh, a lie. Okay, so we do, have data on both where users are joining you in the world and day of the week. So what day of the week is most popular. And we've got time zone actually. Sorry. I completely forgot about this. So yeah, if you go to big data analytics and go to audience, you can see 3 different sections there. So location, local times, and local time zone. And this will pull up information for you about whereabouts in the world your users come to the site from, what day of the week is the most kind of like popular and like engaging. And you can also see kind of like what the time zone is as well. So you could probably use that to kind of plan out kind of like what day is the best. And also obviously if you so obviously I'm based in the UK, if all my audience is joining me from the US, I'm not going to be posting content when it's 2 a.m. in the morning in the US. I'm going to figure out either when it's the morning or the evening or like whatever time I think would be best. So if I was posting content for the US, I'd probably try and focus it on posting in like the evenings or whatever, and I'd figure out kind of like what time it would be in the evening there based on where obviously I'm in the UK. So yeah, I think you could probably start by just understanding whereabouts in the world your users are coming from, and then also using that local times and local time zone within the audience section of big data analytics. I think that would be really useful. So we've just got a couple more minutes left. If anyone's got any final questions or anything, happy to kind of finish off on one or two more. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. Hope you've all found it helpful. If anyone's got any further questions, like please join us in Twist. We'll be happy to answer anything there. But yeah, any final questions, just let me know. And then it was just a couple more minutes, and then that'll be the end of the stream. Oh, you're welcome, Daniel. Okay, so we're just going to finish off there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Kazil, if you want, you can reach out over Twist, and I'll take a bit more of a deeper look into kind of like the analytics that I was talking about there. And we can maybe have a bit of a chat about it in Twist. So do you want to reach out to one of us that will reach out to me in Twist, and I'll pick up that thread, and we can have a bit more of a look. So I know what you're saying. I just want to spend some time actually looking at the analytics so I can kind of provide you with the best outcome there. So yeah, just reach out over Twist and we'll have a chat about it there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and we'll hopefully speak to you soon.